Hi everyone, this is Grant, and today I'll be making the first and what will be a two-part video detailing the Diablo 3 item tiers in Inferno and the Diablo 3 auction house. So this video will deal with the item tiers and the next video will deal with the auction house. I know a lot of people want that auction house video. We've been getting a lot of comments and whispers and all that kind of stuff saying, where's the auction house video, we really want it, etc, etc. This video will serve as basically a basis for that video, getting everyone up to speed on how the item tiers work and all that stuff. So if you already know all this, if you're aware of how this works, then feel free to skip this one and go straight to the auction house one. For those of you that want the information or need the information, we'll go right into it. So we'll go here to weapons. This is on the Diablo 3 website, and this is the game guide, and then weapons. This is a nice place to look for basically anything. If you have any questions about like what the name of the items are, what the stats, the base stats of any item are, what the legendaries are for anything, this has all that stuff. I'm not going to go through it all, obviously, because there's a lot of information, but it's a nice place if you're bored to waste time. And we're going to go to spears, and we're going to go to the bottom here at level 60. So you'll see level 60 has 3 spears, each with a different item level, 61, 62, 63, and we've opened those all up, and we're going to go one by one here. So in Inferno, the different acts have different levels of mobs. Act 1 has level 61 mobs, Act 2 has level 62 mobs, and Act 3 and 4 have level 63 mobs. The spears have item levels, like we showed, the 61, 62, 63, and those correspond to the minimum monster level required to get the weapon to drop. So this level 61 item drops off anything level 61 and higher, which means it can drop in Act 2, 3, and 1. But in Act 1, this will be the best weapon you can get because Act 1 can't drop these 62 and 63 items. So this is the base damage. This is like basically a white spear. And then any affixes that are added to the item, any magic effects that are added to the item are based off this number. So 20% in damage is going to be 20% of this number. When you get to Act 2, you see the level 62, or item level 62 thing drops off level 62 mobs. And you can still obviously get the Quang, you can get all this other stuff. But this is the one you're going to be looking for in Act 2. It has this base damage, and you can see it's about, 4 or 37 or so higher than the old one. And then when you go to Act 3, you get this one, and this one's actually quite a bit more than the Act 1 one, and about 40 or 50 more than the Act 2 one. So these are the ones you see. The Centurion Spear is the one you see on the auction house with like 1300 DPS when people get really good, rolls on the item attributes and all that stuff. So that's how the item tiers work. You can kind of see that it gives you an incentive to get to the higher acts and get the bigger items, bigger weapons, because they have the chance to be the really, really super powered weapons. Armor works the same way. Armor has the same type of tier system. There's 3 level 60 helmets, and they just have different armor values, so it goes up as you go up the tiers. We'll move on to affixes now. So affixes are one of 2 types. They're either prefixes or suffixes. Prefixes go before the name, and suffixes go after the name. And you can see here that this Diablo fans forum post has basically a list of every single type of affix that can go on a weapon. It's a really big list. I'm not going to go through any of this at all. Basically, I'm just going to sit at the top there, but I'll put this link in the description, and you guys can go through that if you want to. So you can see here basically that it shows you this list, and each of these have ranges just like you saw the weapon or the damage ranges. And so even if you get a Grim Spear, it might be a Grim Spear with only 41% and not 50% damage increase. And that has a lot to do with what we're going to talk about in the auction house video, finding really good weapons versus weapons that have a lot more potential, and same with armor and all that kind of stuff. And knowing kind of the max values here and the minimum values can kind of help you decide whether or not you want to spend all your money on an item or kind of wait for something better. So blue items will have a prefix and a suffix, or actually prefix and or a suffix. They can have one of each, or they could just have either one. So you could get a Grim Centurion Spear of Doom, and it would have both one of these and one of these. Yellow items have up to 5 to 7 of these. So they could have this one, and then some, dexterity or vitality or whatever else you can find in this list. And that's why typically yellows are obviously so much better than blues, because there's just more magic effects on the item, and it can also drive the damage way up. If you get this one and then fire damage and attack speed increase and all that kind of stuff, it can really multiply to get a really, really good weapon. So we'll talk more about that stuff in the part 2 of this video, the auction house guide. But this is basically just to get everyone on the same page as far as understanding how the acts work and all that stuff. So we'll move on to upcoming events here and comments and that kind of stuff. The first thing is that a lot of people have asked Ryden and I about whether or not their characters are ready to move to Act 2, Act 3, whatever. Am I ready? Do I have enough items? Do I need more stuff? What do I do? The short answer to that is basically we can't tell you. It depends on your class, it depends on your skill level, it depends on like how much lag you get, who you're with, who you're partying with, all that kind of stuff. There's too many factors for us to be like, yeah, you're fine, go. It just comes down to really whether or not, A, you want to stay farming your previous act, whether that be Act 1 or whatever, really quick and really easily like you are now, or do you want to try to get the harder act down, maybe get less items per hour or whatever, but maybe have a chance at some of these better items. And that's really a personal choice. If you want to struggle through elite mobs, if you want to try to kill harder elite mobs to get the better items, then that's all you. If you want to stay in the safer act and just farm items and try to sell what you're farming, then that's fine too. It's just a personal choice. The best way to tell really is just to do it. If you think you're ready for Act 2, or if you think you might be ready for Act 2 or Act 3, go into Act 2 or Act 3, play around for an hour or two, see if it's easy, hard. Obviously it's going to be a little harder, but see if you can handle it or not, and that's the best way to tell. As for upcoming videos and comments and all that stuff, we just released a Belial video because we had a request to do that, kind of highlighting the strategy we use to kill him and all that kind of stuff. The Act 3 farming video will be coming soon. We'll probably make that tonight or tomorrow. And then same with that auction house video, we'll be making that tonight or tomorrow. The YouTube page is about at 100 subscribers. I think it was 97 last I looked, and it's probably over 100 now. So thank you guys very, very much for paying attention. And we really like making vids, so as long as you guys keep watching them, we'll keep doing it. We have no problem doing that. So stay tuned. One more thing. We had ideas that we're probably going to level alts. Both of us, we have some level 30 characters we want to top off, and maybe we were thinking possibly streaming and then also uploading to YouTube kind of a daily thing about how we're finding items, how we're upgrading, and basically do the entire farm thing over again using only money we've gotten on those characters, trying to separate our money pile from the the max characters to these new ones, and kind of show you guys how we did it like in real time basically. That also opens the thing up to be we can kind of play with some of you guys as we're leveling. If you guys have like level 30, 40, 50s or whatever and want to play with or level with us, feel free to add us on the thing and join games, and we'll hang out with you and talk to you as long as we can and all that good stuff. So just keep an eye out for that, and if you guys are interested in anything else, let us know and we'll try our best to get it out there. Thank you.